I'm Dr. Lanisha Robinson, your host for Career and Technical Education, #Build a Future. Working in St. Lucie Public Schools with the Career and Technical Education CTE department, we want to show what our teachers and students are doing in the classroom to close the skills gap in multiple fields. The students in these programs are earning industry certifications, which create more opportunities and options for all students at their high school graduation. In this upcoming episode, you will meet Mr. Michael Harrelson along with his students Jocelyn Eaton and Sebastian Bush from Fort Pierce Westwood Academy, the West Prep Magnet, and learn more about the Technical Agricultural, also known as Agricultural Mechanics Program Academy at Fort Pierce Westwood. Hi, please go ahead and introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Michael Harrelson. The kids call me Coach Bama, so if you want to refer to me as Coach Bama today, that's absolutely fine. I teach the ag mechanics there at Fort Pierce Westwood Academy.
Hi, I'm Sebastian Bush. I go to Fort Pierce Westwood Academy. I'm in the FFA program there, and I'm a junior.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Jocelyn Eaton. I go to Fort Pierce Westwood Academy. I'm in the Ag Mechanics program, and I'm a senior this year.
All right, welcome. All right, so Coach Bama, Mr. Harrelson.
Yep.
All right, can you share with us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you become a teacher at Fort Pierce Westwood Academy and a part of this awesome program?
Well, it is an awesome program. I owned a used car lot in Fort Pierce, and I was also in the Marines for 10 years with a background in mechanics. And I volunteered as a coach back in 2010, and then just got hired on with the school and eventually ended up getting this job, being fortunate to get this job.
Yes, definitely, and we're definitely fortunate to have you, and I'm sure your students will definitely share with us later on. Now, what exactly, because I know Fort Pierce Westwood is very unique, so it actually has, basically has 3 tracks.
Right.
Can you share with us, the main umbrella and then how those tracks work, or
Yeah,
at least
sure.
the title of those programs?
So basically, when it comes to our animal science and ag mechanics, all the freshmen that come in, they have to take our foundations class, which is like the beginning. It teaches you about the FFA. It teaches you a little bit about steers and cows and pigs and swine and all the different animals. It's nothing going too crazy into it, just the basics of it. And then from that, when you become a sophomore, we're going to ask you, it's going to branch into that umbrella. Do you want to go to the vet program? Do you want to learn more about the animal science program? Or do you want to go with me in the ag mechanics program? And hopefully everybody stays with the program and becomes program completers.
Mm-hmm. And then also coming from industry and now teaching, I'm sure you understand the importance of staying connected to the ag world, staying connected to what's out there going on with the industry and business. So how are you staying connected and make sure your students get that information?
Well, in the community, we're always trying to make connections with people out there between the students' parents that might be in the electrical field or the plumbing field or even carpentry field. And I'm also always out there trying to advocate for our program. So anytime that that you can meet somebody in those fields, you're always trying to pick their brain to find out what's going on out there and to see if there's anything that we can learn from them, or maybe they can learn something from us and help them out.
That's a good point, because I know as a district, I want to also discuss, as a district, we're all focusing on classrooms to careers. Make sure, obviously there's different pathways to get there, but eventually in the end, we want to make sure our students are ready, right? So if you look at, the pathway, how are you presenting that information to, for example, middle school students? How are they finding out about this great program?
Well, there's this video that we're doing today is going to be very helpful. Word of mouth also goes out. We try to post a lot of things on social media, whether it's dealing with the FFA, whether it's dealing with ag mechanics, animal science, or vet. Anytime that we do something that's successful, we try to put out there to let the community know. We also try to go out there and talk to the schools. We do summer camps that gets the middle school and some of the younger elementary kids in there so they can start getting familiar with what we do. Those are some of the things that we do.
All right. So explain a little bit more about the summer camp. How could someone get more information about the summer camp or also get their students involved in that program?
Well, we usually put something out on our our FFA website. Basically, it's a 2-day. No, it's actually, I think it's a few days. I can't remember exactly now. I think it's 2 or 3 days where the kids will come in the morning and they'll either branch off to the vet side or they'll branch off to the mechanics, animal science side, and we'll have all the officers and FFA members put on different obstacles and courses and fun activities for the kids to do that takes them from basically 8 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and everybody just gets to have fun and learn about a little bit about what we do, whether it's welding activity. We actually did a fishing activity last year too, and then we all come together and have lunch, and I think the last day we do a big water slide and barbecue, and it's just a lot of fun.
Now I see you all over there nodding your heads. Are you all involved in any way, either one of you?
Yes, I definitely am. I've done the Ag Summer Camp for quite a few years. It's definitely it's a lot of fun. We take all the little kids, and we've all got our own like little stations set up and stuff. And like every, I think 30 minutes or so, we'll rotate, get a new group of kids ready to tackle a new fun adventure. We're nailing hammers into wood, or walking a pig, like walking one of our pigs around our barn and stuff.
All right. So would you all say that's a great way to look at career exploration and kind of like getting students kind of acquainted to see like these are some opportunities that are out there?
I would say it's basically just getting the kids in, seeing that, you know, the one thing that we want to do with these CTE programs is let people know that there are other paths besides college. We're never saying that college is not the answer. Anytime you can further your education, it's awesome. But for people like me, college wasn't something that I was ready for or wanted to do. So, you know, going in the military, getting a trade skill, you know, we just want to show there's more to life than just college. Come out here, learn a trade, and you can still be very successful in life.
So when students are learning the information here, you know, with your program, what kind of career opportunities are out there once they leave high school?
Well, I mean, it just depends on what you're interested in. I mean, there's needs for plumbing, there's needs for carpentry, there's needs for electrician, HVAC systems, welding. I mean, right now, you know, the trade is kind of turning into like a dying breed. For some reason, a lot of people don't want to do it. A lot of older people are not teaching it. I know coming from Phoenix Metals, I was talking to the owner over there, and he was telling me he's having trouble finding kids that want to come in and weld and want to put in the work and the grind. You know, so I mean, it's a tough business out there. So we want to try to build it and continue it to grow.
Okay. And one of the important pieces or points that you mentioned was that you're talking about how industry, your alliances that you actually have connections with, they're
Right.
actually saying there's a need for students that are in your program right now. So when they graduate from high school, they actually have employment opportunities if they want to go that route, correct?
Correct. I mean, we have students right now that are still in school that are actually working in the field. They do a half a day of school and then they go and work on the farm, welding, doing miscellaneous repairs and stuff.
So Jocelyn and Sebastian, go ahead and share with us, what exactly do you want to do once you leave high school? You know, what are your future career plans?
After I leave high school, I either want to go to the military and go develop work on my trade there, or I want to go to be underwater welder, like offshore with oil rigs and stuff.
Okay.
I plan on going straight into the workforce. My plan, hopefully, is to do something involving welding or just building in general. Once I get out of high school, I'm probably going to be able to get a job at Piper, which is building airplane parts,
Nice.
hopefully.
Nice. All right, so when you are in this class, do you feel like it's actually applying to what your goals are in the future?
Absolutely.
All right. So when we look at, so your students have mentioned welding. You know, can you tell us what we see if we were to shadow, you know, a student in your classroom, or we were to visit? What kind of skills will we see, like hands-on demonstrations? What will we see in your classroom, or even out in the barn area?
Well, if we're doing something in the classroom, we have welding simulators that we just got with our grant. So it's really nice that the kids can set this up and practice, and it's pretty similar to the actual welding. It just depends on what we're doing for the day. You know, if the curriculum is telling us that we're going to go over electrical, then we're going to do something with electrical. If we're doing something with irrigation, then we're going to work with PVC. If we're doing welding, it just depends. Are we doing stick, MIG, or TIG welding? So it really could vary just depending on what we're doing for the day, even if we're doing something with concrete, you know.
Okay. Now, what would you say are, you know, hearing some about the projects that you all are doing, what's your favorite part of being a part of the program?
My favorite part of being a part of the program would have to be
His awesome teacher.
that and the memories you make building projects because by the time you're in ag mechanics, you would have your group of friends in your class, and to get the chance to build it up, like to build something and watch it come together with some of your closest friends is a really good opportunity.
My favorite part about it was being able to do welding. It's very nice to be able to do and learn hands-on, and you learn from your mistakes because you're bound to make mistakes eventually. You can't go through and do something and learn something without it. So I like being able to learn and be hands-on.
All right.
She likes to weld.
She likes to weld.
She likes to weld.
And that is one thing that I love, the idea that, with welding, that, we have students, it's not only, it's diverse. It doesn't matter if you're a female student or a male student, you could weld, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the females honestly weld better.
Ooh.
Right? So, I mean, yeah, they just have a steadier hand for some reason. Mm-hmm. Even in the Marine Corps with, doing weapons training and stuff, that we noticed that the girls could actually shoot better because they had a steadier hand.
All right, so I hear some competition going. All right, so now you had mentioned that you also have some students that are volunteers, they're interning. Can you give some examples of those students and their progress and also the success because of that connection?
Well, I mean, our mechanics team just made the top 10 in the state. So I think they were number 8 in the state. So on the 2nd of May, we're going to a state competition with them. On that team is Sebastian, Nate Haney, and Jacob Kaysen. Jacob Kaysen actually does 1 or 2 classes a day, and then he takes off to his job where he's constantly telling me he's doing miscellaneous repairs, welding. I mean, he'll go all the way to Jupiter to do a welding job for his boss. He's a very successful kid. He's actually only a junior, but he's going to be going into one of these programs where he's going to be going to IRC and taking the welding program there next year full time. So he's definitely a success story.
Okay. Do you want to share a little bit more about your personal perspective and your experience?
For sure. My parents own a business, and I definitely, coming into the mechanics program, it gave me a lot of background into it. So, and it still helps me with applying it into the business to this day and working around it and helping through it.
Okay. So earlier on, you had mentioned that you had made some purchases because of grants,
Yes.
right? So that is a great opportunity.
Yes.
So how much, I would say not necessarily how much, but what kind of advances, or whether it's tools, equipment, what are some examples, some purchases that were made because of the grant opportunities?
Well, the grant was humongous for our program. We're going to be able to afford everyone to get certified in carpentry next year. So we're going to be offering another certification. Some of the things we purchased 2 Lincoln simulator welders. I mean, they were super expensive, like 35 grand a piece. We got a new tractor. We got a John Deere Gator. We have a Conex box full of new tools that we're waiting for our new school to be built. And we're ready to get everything out of the boxes. And I'm really looking forward to setting up our tool room. We got a new chute for our cows. Just got a bunch of stuff that we needed that's really going to make the program grow. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are jealous of it.
And then, of course, Fort Pierce Westwood is getting that brand new school
yeah.
that's going to be opening very soon, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a beautiful school. We're getting a new barn. It's really going to hopefully be a magnet to bring everybody into our program, and just the opportunity is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Now, and you also mentioned industry certification, so I kind of want to take a step back and let everyone know, because that's crucial, that's important. Because your students are actually earning industry-recognized credentials
Yes.
that adults in the outside of this district, obviously, they're actually having to pay for these. But this
Right.
is free opportunities for your students. Can you share with us what industry certifications are you offering, and then what are the advantages because your students are earning this now? What are their advantages for earning those certs?
Well, the advantages are one, it's an articulation agreement with the state, so they get college credit, right? So that's really nice that you can already get college credit from taking our program. The certifications are the Ag Mechanics Specialist, that's with me. Then when you're in the foundations as a freshman, you can get certified in Ag Systems and Ag Associates. So I mean, when you graduate and you stay in the program and you become a program completer, you're going to have 5 or 6 cords on you. You're going to look like a general. That's really, and for some reason, the kids want to wear all that bling and cords and all
Right.
that when they graduate.
But that's important because at graduation, you know, it's recorded. This is time for their family,
Yes.
their friends, and the community to see, like, wow, you know, those cords mean something. You earn those cords. I know it's not easy. I know those those certifications are not easy to earn.
Yes.
So congratulations. Now, for you all as students, what certifications have you earned or are working on?
Me, I have obtained all 3 certifications that we offer so far. I obtained our Ag Foundations, our Agriculture Systems, and our Agriculture Mechanics certification.
All right.
And he's actually a junior, so he'll be here next year, where he'll definitely pass his carpentry one.
Nice.
Really looking
Jocelyn's
forward
a
to
senior,
that.
so unfortunately, she's going to miss out on that.
All right.
But I do have all 3 of the certifications as well.
Okay. Now, do you all have plans to use those energy certifications, whether it's now or in the future?
I don't have any plans for it, but I definitely am very grateful. Like the course taking to even just to know, like the information needed for the certifications was really helpful.
All right.
I'm not sure if they'll be used directly, but they'll definitely be going on my resume. Because even like if you're going into a job where you're building something or welding or something along those lines, it helps to have those certifications because that's gonna be like highlighted to somebody that's looking over your resume versus someone who might not have those certifications.
I often tell these kids that, you know, you're not going to leave this program and you're not going to be a master at anything. You're not going to be a master welder. You're not going to be a master carpentry. But what it's going to do is get your foot in the door. When you sit down with an employer and you have all these other applications in, and you can have a conversation, he can say a word and you can be in that conversation and he'll be able to pick up within 2 minutes that you at least know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And then he can bring you into his program or his company and teach you the way they do things. But when you sit down, if you don't even know what a Phillips screwdriver is, or you don't know what TIG welding means or stick welding, you know, your application is going to go to the bottom, right? So as soon as you sit down and you say, yeah, I'm certified in this, and you hold a 5-minute conversation, and you can be in that conversation with them, he knows at least you know what you're talking about, and that will get you to the front of the job list. That's what I often tell the kids.
Yes, definitely. And especially to make sure you all are brushing up on your resumes, because I know that is something, you're right, that our business allies, they do look at that.
Yes.
They want to see how our students, you know, basically they're setting their own standards now. You all are setting the bar, so I appreciate you all doing that, and thank you. All right, so I know last week we had the Career Technical Education, the CTE Entrepreneurship Showcase,
Yep.
which is actually a part of you all being basically having students involved, be able to compete for CTSOs, which we call Career Technical Student Organizations.
Right.
So can you share with us how your students are involved in CTSOs? And then also tell us about the showcase as well, because I know your students did very well.
Yes. So the kids all are part of the FFA. Not only do we do ag mechanics, I'm an advisor for the FFA, which stands for Future Farmers of America. You know, it's one of the biggest organizations in the country. It's been absolutely amazing to me. I enjoy every day dealing with the kids and the different opportunities and programs. There's tons of CDEs, which stands for Career Development Events, or SAEs, Supervised Agriculture Experiences, that gives these kids opportunities to go into a little bit farther into whatever competition they want to be in. Like, for example, they were in the ag mechanics one, you know, we're going to go to the state competition for that. I also teach a meat judging one that we made state for that as well. And of course, Ms. Blankenbaker, you know, she's a rock star advisor. She's been doing it forever, and her teams are usually always in the state competitions. The showcase is a fun opportunity for the kids. Every year we get to participate in it, and there's rules and guidelines on what you can do, but I often put a little bit of my own twist on it and try to challenge them to, you know, think a little harder. When I think of agricultural and the barn and all that, I think of all, you know, sometimes there's horseshoes or tires or tools or stuff laying around. So I challenge them to try to find something that's laying around that's not being used and try to build something from it. So this year they found a tire, cut it in half, and, you know, got some wood and turned it into a chair, which was a pretty cool project.
Mm-hmm. So Sebastian, you're a part of FFA, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what's your role in FFA and what's your student perspective experience on that?
Right now I'm a member. and I've been in FFA for going on 7 years since I was in middle school at Alapata Flats. It was first year it started, and it's been awesome. It's been like I've got to say the trips have been like top 10 memory worth. It's been beautiful. The memories, the laughter, the jokes, the inside jokes make it worthwhile, for sure.
All right, and then have you won any awards or?
Yeah, I've won multiple awards. I have degrees. FFA offers chapter, green hand, state, and American degree. I have my chapter and green hand degree. What else have I done?
Well, you just applied to be an officer for next year.
Yes, I
So
did.
you-
I just applied to be the president for next year, so we'll see how that goes. And then I do meat judging. I'm usually pretty good with that. I do agriculture mechanics, and then anything else in between.
He's done tractor driving before, like
Yep, tractor driving.
tractor drive. I mean, he's a very smart kid.
Thank you.
All right, and Jocelyn, what's your experience with doing student organizations?
I'm really only in ag mechanics, so I don't do FFA or any of that stuff.
You were part of the showcase.
But you were part of
though.
the showcase, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
The showcase was very fun. That was the chair that we had put together was kind of hard, but that's the whole point. It's not supposed to be something that's easy. You're supposed to learn from it and grow.
Now, because of students that are involved, are they able to earn scholarship dollars? Are they able to earn like college scholarships
yes.
or even award dollars to pursue like their future careers or apply to their entrepreneurship business?
So there's tons of scholarship opportunities, especially when you're part of the FFA. You have the national FFA that has scholarships. We have the state FFA that offers scholarships. You also have the Florida Farm Bureau that does scholarships for the kids, and then we even have our own alumni that does scholarships for them. So, I mean, the FFA is a humongous organization with lots of money that is willing to invest into our kids.
Now, what is your future when you're looking at the program's growth? Because the program is definitely growing,
Yes.
So what's your plans, like what are some future plans, even some ideas that you have in what you see your direction of your program?
Well, it's been difficult with building the new school and having to move, going from the front of the school to the back of the school, and we have like a temporary barn and all this. So me personally, I'm really looking forward to getting the shop up and getting all my tools put on the pegboard and being able to have enough electricity and welders for all the kids to each work on one instead of having to share. We have our small engines in the back that we work on. Personally, I would love to build like a go-kart, like a small go-kart, weld up the frame and then put the engine in it and maybe auction it off or do something fun for like a fundraiser would be really fun to do.
All right, but doing all that, it actually just gives your students more exposure.
Yes.
Regardless of what the project is. But I mean, it's amazing. Like I've seen firsthand, like walking on at Fort Pierce Westwood and seeing the amazing things that you all are doing, but also seeing that regardless of your background, regardless of what you want to do, there are opportunities that exist for you.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunities out there. Just working at the school has been a great opportunity from where I came from to being a teacher now and dealing with these kids and being part of the FFA. Westwood is home, it'll always be home for me. I love the direction that we're going. When Mr. Alfonso says Westwood on top, it's not just a phrase, he really means that. And everybody's buying into what he's doing. It is a great opportunity to work there and I love it.
Okay. So what are some, if we had like a student, like say a middle school student, even someone that's in elementary school that's thinking, I think I may go this route, what kind of recommendations would you give them from, based on your own experience as a student?
Recommendations I'd give to the younger crowd, definitely looking more interested into it, is I'd tell them to talk to their parents. Because if you open your interest and you let them know, I'm sure that there's definitely means to get it done. Like I said, Alapata Flats, they have a middle school FFA chapter, and I know it's always open. There's plenty of room. I know 4-H. Also, if you want to get started early at a young age and you can't get into FFA right away, 4-H is also another amazing opportunity.
All right.
To like a middle schooler, like for example, I have my little sister's in middle school, and she's very hands-on, and she doesn't like just sitting in a classroom. I do always encourage her to say, like, if you want to learn by doing, you know, you don't want to just sit in a classroom and take notes all day or watch someone else do something. You want to actually get up and do something, and then this class is definitely something for you, because you're able to learn from experience. And even if you make a mistake or something, for example, Coach Bama's always here to teach us and correct us. He doesn't like make us feel stupid for making a mistake. So that's definitely something I recommend to people curious about it.
Okay.
Can I answer that one? So
Go ahead.
what I would tell a middle school student is, from my experience as a teacher, I would say talk to some of my students. Talk to some of my students. Ask them, is it boring? Is it fun? You know, is it fun projects? Are you learning something? Personally, as a teacher, one of my missions that I try to make every day is to make it fun, make them laugh, make them have a good time. And, you know, when you do that, they're going to go tell somebody else and tell somebody else, and then you're going to build your program up. You know, and then when they see you doing fun activities and actually learning something, that's exciting too.
Okay. Now, do you ever take your students off campus or bring, business alliances or business allies to your school or to your students?
Well, we did a field trip to IRSC where they showed us the campus and talked about some of the programs they have with their welding and HVAC and robotics. We just went to the yacht club and took some students there to talk about jobs that are on the water and great opportunities there. And then we have UTI come down and talk to us. I think it's Joe Washburn from Orlando comes down and talks to them about opportunities that they have too. So yeah, we try to do fun stuff.
Okay. And now, as for students, you all feel like it's important to bring our business allies, to bringing in those people to speak with you all?
Yes, for sure, most definitely. I definitely feel it's very important for like us as students who will be meeting these possible employers one day to develop a connection early and see if this is the route we want to go to. Like, do we want to like put our all into working for this employer, or do we want to go and find others?
I definitely agree with that. It opens up a lot more doors instead of not meeting or knowing anyone and then just going out into the real world and having to be on your own, not having any sort of connections and not really knowing the information to be able to continue this path if that's what you want to do.
Now, if there was a community member or someone watching this and they wanted more information about what's going on about your program, maybe how to get involved, if there's a business ally out there, a potential one, or even students that are thinking, hey, you know what, I think I want to find out more information, how would they seek more information?
Well, they could go to our website and then click on the career and technical link, and that will take them everywhere they need to go. Or they could call the school and they can personally call me and talk to me, or they can email me. I'd love to tell them information about it.
Okay. So as we prepare to close, I want to kind of reiterate a few things: that your students are earning entry certifications.
Yes, ma'am.
Your students are getting college credits.
Yes, ma'am.
Your students are getting real-world experiences.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're getting career exposure now to basically make sure that they're connecting. They're going from classrooms to careers.
Correct.
Right? Is there anything else, but as we prepare to close, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just think that Westwood is a phenomenal school.
It
You know,
is.
I mean, it's changing, it's rising. We got a new school. Our principal is amazing. Our administration is amazing. I think the teachers are happy there, and I think it's a great place to be and be a part of.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right. I'm Dr. Lanisha Robinson, and this is Career and Technical Education, #Build a Future. I encourage you to view our St. Lucie Public Schools Career and Technical Education webpage. In Career and Technical Education, we are establishing a pipeline from secondary to post-secondary and career pathways for all of our students. We are building a future and continuing to close the skills gap. On behalf of the station's team, I'd like to thank you for joining us today.